Welcome to the Money GPS. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you today. I want to show you what's really going on. When we get into the depths of all of this, you are going to see for yourself how serious this situation and circumstances have been leading up into this point here. We're talking about 100 years ago, and now we are feeling it. That's how these reverberations and ripple effect actually works. What am I talking about? What's this guy saying? Let's begin by taking a look at California rationing water amid the worst drought in 1200 years. My message to you is get your food and water situation in order. Look at what's happening in California. Look at the heat wave in Texas. You need to be prepared. And this doesn't just mean diversifying your portfolio. You have to look at investments different than just the traditional way. Take a look at the next thing. Restaurants add fees to your check to counter inflation. In every way possible, prices are increasing. And if you're not ready for this, it's going to sideswipe you. Yeah, you say, I'm just not going to go to the restaurant. But we're seeing shrinkflation at the stores. You've got to do everything that you can. I've got a playlist called How To and Solutions for some of those activities. Look at this. Wall Street Journal. Red hot coal prices threaten even higher power bills. It's happening all over the place. It isn't just coal. It isn't just what they're talking about here with Russia and Ukraine. No, this is going on all over the place. It's affecting everybody. If you do agree, hit that thumbs up button. All right? Take a look. Demand at food banks is way up again, but inflation makes it harder to meet the need because they're getting a certain budget. And of course, if food prices are higher, they've got less to buy. So do you see what's happening here? One after the other after the other. We are getting squeezed. The boa constrictor is giving us that good squeeze, and we're losing the ability to breathe. Housing expenses, which typically take up large chunks of the budgets of wealthier people, have skyrocketed over the past few years. This example here is of Orange County, California, a top-tier home costing $1.7 million. Based on what they're saying here, $1.2 million back in 2020. So big jump, right? A mortgage on that house, 20% down payment, that would cost $100,000 per year. That's 40% of a $250,000 annual pre-tax income. So imagine when we factor in taxes, you take a huge chunk out just to pay for the mortgage. But what's happening today that's different than what we have seen before, you're watching interest rates increase. So if somebody's got that locked in for a long period of time, okay, they can make do, but all of their other expenses are going up at the same time. We also have to factor in some people are on adjustable rate mortgages. If you're in Canada or let's just say if you're not in the United States, you may not be able to lock in for 25, 30 years. It doesn't work like that in everywhere. So you've got to renegotiate or refinance after a few years. This is going to hit people hard. We will find out very, very soon. Bird flu will hit turkey supplies for Jenny O turkey this summer. Sales volumes will decline 30% in the second half. And in fact, talking about serious problems for the third quarter. And I'm concerned about this as we see the prices of all food rising rapidly. Okay, sure, you see turkey here and maybe chickens over there, but we are watching this happen to all different types of food. That's why I say, if you've got the ability to grow a garden, even a small one, highly recommend doing so. Okay, let's take a quick run around the table so I can show you the next aspect. And that is the central banks, the bankers, the financial establishment, and what they are saying. This is it. The Fed is in danger of losing control of public expectations of future inflation, according to Bullard. Okay, so we're talking about somebody in the Federal Reserve now. We get the good stuff from the former people, but hey, we're getting something really interesting right now. And what is this all about? You see, the Federal Reserve said, we're going to take care of inflation. We're going to make sure it never happens. And then it happened. And then now they're going back and saying, well, we going back now, yeah, we kind of screwed up. This comes after the fact. They cannot let that happen again. And so what does that mean? They must increase interest rates enough to push inflation down. They can't screw this up again, or else the Fed won't give people this forward guidance that they do, because that's how they kind of control things without actually taking action, using forward guidance. But if they keep screwing up, if they keep doing this, the markets aren't going to believe them anymore. That's an issue. Fed Vice Chair Lael Brainerd says it's very hard to see the case for the Fed pausing rate hikes. You see, because June is expected rate hike, 50 basis points. July, most likely 50 basis points. That brings us 1% higher than where we are today, short period of time. But September is starting to look like, yeah, maybe they're not going to do so. But Lael Brainerd, I think it was Bostic, Bullard, multiple people in the Fed are saying, no, we're not anywhere near this whole pausing at all, okay? So we'll see what happens, because they really need to get inflation down, and the only solution here is to quantitative tightening, reducing their balance sheet, and increasing interest rates. Now, I showed you what Jamie Dimon had to say. Okay, this is brace for the hurricane, he says, right? Well, now Goldman Sachs' president, warns of unprecedented economic shocks. You could argue in a sense, well, you know what, Jamie and this guy, they have a reason to say this. You can't trust anything they say. Not everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. Of course, we know what their goals are and we know who they're trying to protect, but they still, just like the Federal Reserve, they can't always be saying things that are against reality. Nobody would take them seriously. This is among, if not the most complex, dynamic environments I've ever seen in my career. The confluence of the number of shocks to the system, to me, is unprecedented. And I completely agree with that. And that's what I've been highlighting, not just in this video, but all throughout. And that's why, if you want to support this channel, simply give that thumbs up button, because you just don't get the documentation that what I'm trying to do here anyway. Okay. You go to the other ones, you can get good information, but the level of documentation is, just unheard of. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm not trying to put bias, no politics, none of that. Anyway, this is an EU approving a partial Russian oil ban and sanctions on Sberbank. So I thought it was interesting to see this. We will see what happens. You look at the price of oil, it's up, it's down. What's happening? Like, it's going really crazy right now, to say the least. OPEC says they're going to pump 50% more oil. Who knows? But I can tell you something. What we're looking at in these different countries around the world, specifically with the developing nations, they're getting hit hard. And you see this, Sri Lanka, right now this is Pakistan, Kazakhstan, Iran. Just look at all these different countries and see the uprisings that are taking place. Fuel crunch risks factory closures in Pakistan's business center. Karachi businesses warn that they can't sustain production. Utility may ration power to the industry for the first time in a decade. They should talk about the sky-high energy costs. Prices are so high, that's it. The economy shuts down. Big worry here. Big worry. Korea inflation outpaces forecasts, adding to the rate hike case, essentially just saying that they need to continue to increase interest rates. They say, no, we're not going to do 50 basis points like we're seeing in Canada and, United States and other places. We're going to do 25 basis points, but we're still going to do so. So that's what's happening in Korea right now. And I just wanted to end with this one. This is something that I think about all the time. And they make a really good point here, so I wanted to finish off the video with this. What do you think of this? Okay, check it out. College degrees lose luster as inflation surges and student debt balloons. Nearly half of parents said they would prefer not to send their children to a 4-year university after high school. And this particular kid right here is saying he's going to go to trade school instead. So I believe that the education system is inherently flawed in the way that they do things. They've made this post-secondary education so expensive that, you look at it, okay, it's $40,000 of debt, $100,000 of debt, whatever it might be for a particular individual. And they're saying to themselves, it just doesn't make sense. I'm gonna have to work for so long to pay all that back. I lost all that time, and it doesn't even guarantee me that I'm gonna get anything because everybody has some sort of higher education, and so the competition goes up. Oh, everybody has a 4 year. Okay, well, I need to go for 6 years. I need to go for 8 years. I need to get a PhD and so on. So this has really changed. People who are going to trade school, obviously, this could be something really good. I think for others, there's an idea where, you know, the new economy that's out there where people can become entrepreneurs, where people can provide for themselves, where people can take advantage of maybe online businesses, where they can live in a place that is very cheap, but the work that they're providing is online. So it's, maybe you live in the middle of nowhere, but your main customers are in New York City or Miami. So things have really changed, and I think people can take advantage of that. If you appreciate this information, simply hit that thumbs up button. It's right down there. And if you want to join 282,000 subscribers, please do so. Hit that subscribe button as we move all the way up to 282,000 subscribers. I'll see you there. Take care.